This video, I'm going to show you exactly how to shift to a parallel reality of abundance, freedom, and that of massive success. By the end of this video, you're going to start to feel this shift happening within you so that you start to experience more than you even thought possible. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you that of how to shift to the parallel reality that you prefer, how to do it in a conscious way where you start to create more freedom, more success, and more abundance in your life, more than you've ever experienced before. Now, before I go into exactly how to do that specific part of it, understand that we are always shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality every single moment, whether we are aware of it or not. Now, the reason this is important to understand because then we can see how we can embody the frequency, the reality of what we want to experience right now, because all reality is reality is a reflection of what we believe to be true, and what we think of as time, we experience the idea of time, but in actuality, all the past, all the present, all the future, it all exists right now. The only thing that shifts is our perception of time. So let's look at it like this. If this is a metaphor that makes it so much easier to learn or so much easier to absorb, imagine that right now we have that of a film strip. And if we had a film strip, we could take this strip of film, we could spread it out like this, and we could even look at the individual different frames. One frame may have something looking like this, the other frame might have something looking like this, so it just shifts a little bit. Even though some of these frames will look so similar to other frames, we know that they are totally separate frames. Well, in the same time, all of these different frames exist right now in the present moment. It's just that the light of consciousness is going through it to a frame rate to where it appears to be one continuous movement. So if we were to have like a video of me going like this right now, we could see it looking as one perceptual and one continual movement. But if we were to slow it down or we were to look at it in the frames, we would see that they're actually individual frames going like this. Now, the thing is we have the experience of continuity because we have memory, because we have that of our brain. So we're able to piece all of these together in a linear type way that makes sense to us. Now, knowing that they all exist, that as we change in the present moment right now, we are changing which part of our past that we connect to. And think about this, if you are feeling really good right now, and you were imagining that of some type of past experience that you had, where you also felt really good, it would be much easier for you to remember than that of a bad memory because of the state that you're in, the way that your brain is wired, and how you feel. So it's almost like you are picking up out of past experiences things that resonate with your current state of being. On the other side of that, if you were to feel not so great, you would remember things and other moments in time that you're pulling out of your past of when you didn't feel great, because it's all threaded together. So it depends on how we are right now in the present moment to which past we connect to, and also what kind of future we imagine. So the point of this is knowing that the true power is in the present moment right now. Because when you change now, you change which pasts you remember and which future potentials that you end up linking up to. So knowing that, we can then see that what we want to experience, it's not about us having to shift to a reality that's over there. It's about us realizing that it already exists, and if we simply change our focus, things begin to change. Now, understand as well, you already do this whether you're aware of it or not. Just like with the law of attraction. People are like, the law of attraction, does it work or does it not work? Well, it depends upon your beliefs, because if you don't believe the law of attraction works, you will create experiences that mirror that belief. You'll look around, you won't notice it at all. And you will find and almost not see patterns that may actually already be there. In the same way that I'm going to be sharing with you how you can shift to the parallel reality that you want, you're shifting whether you realize it or not. Maybe we use different terms for it. Maybe we're just now in science starting to learn about that of quantum physics, so we're starting to become aware that we are shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality, and that they all exist right now, that anytime we make a choice, what we do is we put ourselves in a different momentum or in the momentum of that kind of experience. But I don't have to teach you how to shift. I want you to know that, because the whole point of parallel reality manifestation is making it easier for you to know that this is a natural byproduct of the way reality works. You don't have to try to do it. You don't have to pile on some new belief system. It's already happening. So when I share with you these ways that it's already happening, you can then see that it is something that you can just allow and make it easier to be. So let me share with you a little bit of how this changed and transformed my own life, of when I began to shift into that of abundance, of success, of freedom. And it was me understanding that idea, that the perfect version of me, the one that I would prefer to live like, the version of me that I prefer to be, which is successful, abundant, and that of living in freedom, I knew that that existed right now in the present moment, and this was about 2 years ago. And when I remember this, using my brain to remember it, I can remember a specific scenario of when I made a choice, because choice and intention is a powerful part of this. I was walking around my room or my house, and I was thinking to myself, I was in the hallway actually, in front of my room, and I was thinking to myself, what is the one thing that I could do every day that would change my life the most? And I had this feeling, this rush of energy that was like, make a video a day. I knew that I wanted to grow my YouTube channel. I just had this feeling if I made a video a day, in a year from now, my life would be totally different, totally transformed, and I would shift to the reality that I want, because I would be embodying that version of me. So what I did is I started to treat my side hustle, which was making YouTube videos, when at the time I worked at Barney's New York selling women's shoes. I started to treat my side hustle as if it was already my full-time job. So what I did is I was working about 40 hours a week at that job, and I was making videos, which took about 30 hours a week for me to make videos daily. And as I started to do that, things started to exponentialize. Things started to grow, because I was in the frequency of the version of me that was doing what I love. I love to make videos. Some people say, oh, you're preaching hard work. I love making videos. So it's me being my passion, me doing what I'm passionate about. And what I did is, as I did that, things started to exponentialize. Things started to grow very fast. I remember I had a couple videos that started to pop on YouTube. The channel started to grow very fast. And within 3 to 5 months, I went full time. I started being able to was able to go in one day, put in my 2 weeks. The last day I worked was the McGregor-Mayweather fight. And I did that specifically because I knew it was going to be busy, because it was a sales commission job. Got rid of that job, never had to go back since, and this is what I do for a living now. So the idea is that I used 1.5, 2 years ago, I used my imagination to connect to the parallel reality version of me that was already doing what I love. And I knew that that was included making daily videos. So what I did is I imagined the best version of me, the energy state that I was in, the beliefs that that version of me had. I imagined the actions that version of me was taking. And what I decided to do was to embody the frequency of that version of me, knowing that if I embodied the frequency of that version of me, I would shift to that reality, which existed right when I was imagining it. So it's all about the vibrational frequency and the awareness that the reality you want to experience already exists. Now, the reason this makes it so much easier to manifest, knowing this, is because people think with the law of attraction, it's like, here I am, I want to attract that over there into here. And I want to create my own reality. Well, think of how hard that is. You have to create your own reality as if it doesn't already exist, and as if you have to actually have to like cultivate and make every little different aspect of it. You don't have to create your reality, you simply have to choose it from the space of options. They all exist right now. In the same way, I knew that there was a version of me that was doing what I love to be doing. What would that be? What kind of mindset would I have? What kind of habits would I have? What kind of things would I do consistently? And as I paid attention to that, I simply chose, because you could think of the choosing to different parallel realities, the choices you make put you on different life tracks. You can think of what that would be for you to get to that end destination, which exists right now. So that should make it so much easier for you to connect to, because you know now that it already exists. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to create it from scratch. It already exists, and using your imagination, you can begin to embody the frequency of it. Now let's talk about that for a second. Vibrational frequency. There's two main things that make up our vibrational frequency. One is our emotion, how we are feeling. Think of emotion as energy in motion. How are we feeling? What are the beliefs we have? You see, because our emotions actually come from our beliefs. We must first believe something to be true to actually have an emotional response to it. Just like a rainy day, some people may hate a rainy day, some people may love it. It's a neutral idea, but someone may say, I give it positive meaning. I love rainy days because of my past reference experiences. Therefore, they feel positive emotion when it happens, but it's a general idea about that. So let's look at that. We could say, well, what are your beliefs of the best version of you that's doing exactly what you want to be doing? What emotions are you feeling? And that helps make up your vibration. Now, the other part of this is emotion and then motion. Motion. What action are you doing? Because there's a certain vibratory frequency when you're taking action. So I would notice that when I was taking certain actions, I would feel a certain way. When I was making videos, I felt like I was in a high vibrational state, because making videos, even as I make this right now, it's just in a flow state. It just naturally comes. I don't have anything prepared for this video. All I simply know is the title, and then it's like the information just kind of comes through me through past reference experiences, whatever we want to call it, but it's a flow state that I love to be in. So it's all very natural. So emotion and motion makes up our vibratory frequency. So imagine the best version of you that is massive successful, that is in unlimited abundance, that is with freedom. What does that version of you, imagine it, because it exists right now. And as you imagine it right now, begin to connect to it. Begin to connect to the vibration of it, not the intellectual ideas of, oh, okay, I have to do this, this, and this. The frequency of it, the feeling of it. What would it feel like for you to be that version of you? How would you wake up every day feeling? What is the emotion? What is the feeling inside of your heart center? Because that's something that really amplifies this whole experience, is the heart center and how you feel in the heart. I believe that one of the reasons my YouTube channel has grown the way it has, and the reason I've kind of, this has happened within the last 2 years for me, is because I'm following my heart and I have a good intention with everything I'm doing. My intention is to add value to people. So it's like a heart-based intention. And I believe that that helps me more than maybe other people whose main intention is just to make money or is just to, maybe have a lot of subscribers. My intention is to add value, knowing that everyone that I'm helping is another version of me at a different level. It's this deep kind of spiritual connection that I feel to everyone. And this is my reasoning, this is my why, this is what drives me. So therefore, it's the reason that I've been able to be on this path of success, abundance, and freedom. So how can you create success, abundance, and freedom in your life? Well, the first thing you can do is simply become clear as to what that life looks like and feels like for you. Connect to that version of you, and remember, it already exists. You don't have to create it from scratch. You can allow this to be more natural. You can allow this to be something that you are just aware of. Ask yourself, what does this version of me think? What does this version of me feel? What does this version of me do? And start to be aware that that imagination is the bridge to that reality. And then as you start to get the pictures of what that is, you have a vibratory frequency that you can begin to embody. What if back 2 years ago, the version of me right now was reaching back to me saying, listen, do this, you will get here, you will be able to experience this, you will shift to this reality if you do this now. And that feeling for me was the daily videos. That was just my truth. That was what I knew was true for me, because I was embodying that frequency. In the same way, what if right now you watching this video is a sign for you to start to embody the best version of you, doing what you're passionate about, being connected to your heart, making choices that align you with the vibratory frequency of that version of you, with the emotion and the motion of that version of you, the action and the emotional frequency of what it feels like to be that best version of you. Because it exists right now. So when we talk about abundance, let's also look at this. Abundance, abundance, it's all around, whether we understand it or not, whether we realize it or not. There is only abundance in the reality that we live in. If we experience lack, what we are actually experiencing is an abundance of lack, because we get whatever we're focusing on. Whatever we're majorly focused on, we're shifting to more and more of realities that have more of that. So if you experience lack and you keep focusing on lack, you're going to experience an abundance of lack. But lack is just all around because there's a focus of lack. So you get whatever you're focused on, and the idea is to be more focused on the abundance that is also around you. But the way that I just explained it makes you aware that even if you're experiencing lack, you're choosing lack from your focus. So that brings us to the next point. Abundance is all around whether you're aware of it or not. When you're shifting to and through these parallel realities, embody and know that there's an abundance of whatever you focus on. Then understand that every single thing in your life, treat everything in your life as if you chose it. And the reason you do this is because when you do that, you start to take your power back. When you choose something, you can then choose something else. But when something is happening to you, your energy then goes in. It's almost like then you feel like you're more of the victim than you are of the person that's able to control it. And it's not that you're controlling it from an ego perspective, but understand that if you treat everything as if you chose it, you're also saying yes to the present moment, and you're then letting go of resistance. So this is about being aware of that and saying yes and starting to set more intentions. An intention is kind of like a certain direction, a certain outcome, a declaration of a certain outcome. I intend to ... I intend to find my purpose. I intend to start living and embodying that purpose. I intend to every day do this, this, and this with my purpose. And then do that. Follow up with that. Start to set yourself intentions. And as you do this, your life will begin to go in a powerful direction. It's simply that most people are not setting intentions. They're just not setting intentions. And if you're not setting intentions, you're not giving yourself direction. It's almost like the captain of a ship, but you're not there. You're kind of just sitting on the side of it and just letting it go wherever the wind takes it. But setting intentions is you getting back into the ship and starting to steer in the right direction. So start to set more intentions. The intentions will start to increase probabilities of the parallel realities you shift to, because they all exist right now, and the choices you make shift you to more and more and more and more of them. This will all help you to powerfully go in this direction. When it comes to freedom, understand that if you start to make those choices for yourself, you start to create more opportunities for freedom in your life. I had to choose to make daily videos because I knew that me going in this direction would allow me to eventually create the freedom for myself to where I don't have to have a job. You see, if you have to be told by someone else what to do, and you don't start to tell yourself what to do, then you will always have a boss. If you start to become your own boss, you will start to create your own freedom. If that resonates with you, maybe you want and you love your job, then that is great too. But to create more freedom, you start to have to be more aware of the choices you are making. So this all interplays into knowing that the reality you want to experience exists right now in the present moment, and you don't have to try so hard. This makes the manifestation so much easier because it's simply about aligning with that life track by making the choices, embodying the vibrational frequency. And remember, the vibrational frequency is a combination of the emotion and the motion. So start to embody that right now in the present moment. Connect to it. If you want help with this whole process, I have a meditation. It's one of my top meditations of all time. It will show you exactly how to shift to the parallel reality you want. It's got, I think, over 400,000 views now on YouTube, and people, you watch the comments and look at the comments on it too. So many people have had amazing experiences with it. I had no idea it was going to do as well as it did, but it's something that I think can also help you with exactly what you want to learn today with shifting to the parallel reality you want. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days to get the maximum benefit out of it. It's going to be in the top of the description box below. And if you do listen to it for 21 days in a row, watch how your life begins to shift. You will literally give yourself more permission to be and to shift in that vibratory frequency right now in the present moment. So another thing I'm going to be doing is more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram you can do that right here. You can interact with me there, ask me questions. Also, I post twice a day native content there as well. So you get more content from me there too. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.